All right, everybody, welcome back to another Wednesday night interview with HollyWood Affiliate Marketing Services. Tonight we have Mr. Kendrick Thomas, or also known as KTTV. How you doing?
Man, I am good. Very glad to be in the building with you, brother.
All right, I'm glad to hear that. So he's a special guest. He is a principal. He's also a radio personality. He's a coach, a motivational speaker. He's got a whole bunch on there, and he's also a best-selling author on Amazon. So, that's a lot to kind of embody. How do you do it all? I guess just introduce yourself.
Man, Kendrick Thomas, as he stated, assistant principal, Hicks Elementary here in Houston, Texas, man, in education, 2001. Then I got into a little of the media. I always looked at people like Brian Allen, then later came like Gary V. And so I said, man, I always wanted to start. I was a musician, so I was on Street Flavor before.
Okay.
Hey, yeah. And so ever since then, man, I always wanted to get into media. And so here we are, brother. 1 year
Nice.
later.
So I guess how did you get started with KTTV? Or is that like a nickname or
No, man, what happened was the way I found it. So I really wanted to just be explicit to the point. KT, Kendrick Thomas, TV. But
Okay.
I found out it was a station in California had the KTTV just straight together. So I said, okay, let me be a little creative. So then I still kept the KT, but then I thought about the T with the EE with the V. And so that's how we end up doing it. Worked out because it's unique. So you really can just find that pretty much if you hit Google, everything comes up. So
yeah, and that's actually what I did to find it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's it.
Okay, so I guess can you expound a little bit on the radio station? What time are you on? What days?
So,
what are you talking
really,
about?
the media really runs all weekend, man. It's all weekend. So on Saturday, I do the podcast, which is the Daily K podcast, and so then we run it YouTube. And so, man, through that over this past year, I want to say we amassed like 4,000 subs. And so we got
Wow.
I just dropped episode 97 tonight, which was my Wellness Wednesday podcast. And so just really talking on there about educators, entrepreneurs, anything going on in Houston. And so the podcast turned into the radio show on 953 Jams that ended up being an extension of the podcast, just a few more segments. But pretty much the same content, man. We got to give people information so that they can at least be informed enough to make the best decision for themselves.
Okay, that sounds good. So it's an informative radio station. Then it's kind of like an hour where you're giving some good information and then playing music in between.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So for the radio show, 2 hours from 3 to 5 every Sunday. 953 Jams, or you can tune into the Waves app, tune in app. And so what I'm doing on there is I'll have an interview just like on the podcast. Okay. So we'll have someone, I really try to set, for instance, I'm setting us up really, the listeners on the station for a real successful 2021, if I can help it. So our first one, we started with taxes. How do you do your taxes if you're a small business? Where do you get those deductions? The second radio show, we talked about eating. So I had a friend come on who's a TV show host that does cooking. And so this week we'll be talking about money, financial planning. What is their retirement account looking like at the beginning of the year? So basically that's what we're doing, but also dropping quotes like I do for the social media. And we really carved out a section to really just talk about nothing but money, productivity, and motivation, brother.
Sorry, I think I had a technical glitch for a second there.
Yeah, that's where we at.
Yeah, but no, I get you. So, I guess so were you discovered? Did you go up to the radio station and tell them, hey, this is what I want to do, or how did that come about?
Man, so one way I'm telling you, the podcast is the catalyst. So what dropped? I just stayed consistent with the podcast, kept dropping it. I'm expanding to different groups, different reach. And plus, like I say, the information is, man, if it's a resource in our community, I am trying to bring it to the highlight and the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
So by just seeing that, I was able to be seen by Monica Rowley. And so she is hashtag the boss lady over at the station. And so, man, she reached out to me. And we really just started talking about things, and everything really aligned up. And man, here we are. I started the radio show August 9th.
Okay.
And man, we've been rolling ever since.
Nice. So you're also a principal, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I guess what got you going down that path? I have a friend that's a principal also, and I know that it's definitely one of his biggest dreams and goals, and it it takes a special type of person to try to go and run an entire body of students and have so many lives at stake in your hands. What made you want to do that?
Man, the biggest thing is making a difference, right? And so you think about starting out as a teacher. For me, man, I started as a paraprofessional, working in special education, 2001. And so you think about just starting all the way from there, and just figuring out how do I get to a bigger platform to affect change on a bigger level. And so you just keep on chasing it. That's what keeps you motivated. And so I think it was the point of, I felt like I'd done so much inside of my classroom community, and that it was time to really do something different. So I ended up getting a district job for a few weeks. And then my principal really called me back and said, well, she wanted me to come as an assistant at this school. And so the same school I worked at as a teacher since 2013, I've been administrator since 16.
Oh, wow. That's pretty commendable. I know this probably really serves as a big motivation to a lot of people out there too, because I know a couple of people who are still doing paraprofessional, or that's where they started, and I know they have pretty big dreams. And to say that you can serve as a testimony for those people is definitely huge.
Yes, sir.
So I guess with that, then I got two questions. So, what made you want to do something different? We'll start right there.
Man, I told you, it was that I think it was that street play with, man. Like just seeing that and wanting to be into media, and then just keeping that in the back of my head. And so last year, I lost my brother, and I lost one of my friends who were very close to me. And we always talked about media, or we talked about training, or we talked about giving information. And really, when you don't have a lot of places to turn with that pain, you figure out outlets, and so beginning on this, it was really just my outlet of, okay, let me work to change somebody else's life, to give somebody else information. My biggest thing was, how do I, for instance, each morning I put out a quote, and so I was doing it for a long time, but now it's, as my brother killed himself, how do I put this out so maybe somebody can see it and hold on to it for that day? Or maybe they'll see it and they want to reach out to somebody. And so that's what really motivated me to really turn the page and go full throttle with the brand.
That's commendable. For sure. And I guess, something else that I guess is kind of, been on my mind is, so what is it like being, a school principal and having a radio show at the same time? You walk into school and everybody's like, oh, hey, or, that's what it's like.
I will tell you, it's not really, man. It's not the radio show, because they really don't get a chance to see it.
Okay.
But all of them are on YouTube. And so they see the YouTube. We did a few TikTok videos together. So but I will say, I'm thankful to be in that loop of music and newness that comes out, because how else do you connect with kids sometimes if you can't really just sing the same song he's singing?
Right.
So that is one of the pluses of being in that hip world too.
Because I was gonna say, like, me growing up, I've never thought as the principal as like the cool guy in the school. It's like, yeah. So, to say that you've got all this going on and you keeping relevant, that's got to be a totally different feel or vibe in the school.
Yeah, it is because I think it helps. It's all about that connection, right? And how do you get that connection with the students? And man, kids can tell if you faking, they can tell. And so being so genuine, man, I've been able to do so much in students' lives over the years. So it's only a plus, man, of just being able to have both sides of the coin.
So do they still shake when they come to your office?
No, now they know. Now they know when they come to the office, man. It's still look.
Yeah.
Hey, man, they know it get real. We have to have hard conversations. But it's not a punitive conversation, but it will be a hard conversation.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense though. But at the same time, they know, after that it's still cool. It's not like, hey, we got to run and hide from this guy. It's a different level of respect.
Yeah.
It's more so respect versus fear.
Yeah, man. I always give you an opportunity to fix yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, because I told them, man, I got a lot of student loans. And so it get real expensive when I got to thank for people.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how that conversation goes.
That makes sense. Yes, okay. So, you're also a motivational speaker and a coach. Is that like through on the side, or is it through your I guess through your 9 to 5 plus the radio show?
No, man, that's just a totally different. Really, it's still under the KTTV brand, because it's all media, So it's still like going talking to schools, or going talking to group homes, or going out to events, where you just really kind of pouring into people, like community events, community centers, or things like that. So that's pretty much the outside life.
Okay, so with you pouring into people so much, and especially with the times that we're living in, and you said that you just had 2 major losses last year. How do you fill your own cup? Because that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. Because even personally, you feel like you give to people, and sometimes it's not appreciated, or you're also in need of something. So how do you actually fill up your own cup?
Yeah. The biggest part of that would be being able to work inside of that school system, right? And only working up 210 days. And so then figuring out what to do. So I know the last few years I was able to go like to Colorado or something through the summers, man. And we just go out there and we ball. Just a consistent trip of going to the mountains. Other ways, seeing the family, right? Because you try, but the biggest thing for me, man, is getting this information out and seeing how to help people. And then after that, that's then it's taking care of me. And then that's when I take them trips.
Okay. So basically you like to travel then, and that helps you to kind of, and then also what you're given by seeing those results is actually feeding you as well.
Yeah, man. I just think about the world was different. I know last year, I went to Vegas and I just brought in like New Year's. So I'm out like on Fremont and just going hard, man. But yeah, so things like that, man, where you get to not be Mr. Thomas, or you get to not be KTTV, because no one knows you, and so then
you get to go and be free.
Yeah. So that's it.
That makes sense, because I mean with all the things that you encompass in your day-to-day life, I was just gonna ask, like, how do you balance all of that? Because I know for me, I do the 9 to 5, then I got the entrepreneur thing that I'm trying to do at the same time, and so many different things that you're always juggling, family, and just you feel like sometimes you never have a chance to do something for yourself. So is that something for you also, where there's lack of work-life balance or whatever?
Yeah, that lack of work life, that's my biggest thing, man. So that's what I've been trying to do this year, because it's hard. Like the work part is very easy to balance, but the family And I don't have any children or anything, but still, man, you want to get a love life started. You want to do all these things, and so you try to find that balance between those two. But as you in the people service, and you know that I can scale this. The harder I work, the more I talk to people. Until you get to where you want to be, it's kind of like you're on that constant grind. So, but 2021, I'm being intentional. I already thought about it. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, looks like we got a question from the audience. It says, "What is the name of the best-selling book, and what does it tell us about money management?" So we're gonna jump straight into, asking about the book. So yes, you're an author. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So with that, you think about once again like the KTTV media, and so as I talk to all of these people who are experts in this realm or financial and credit and wealth strategists, and then I say, okay, if you didn't hear the conversation or you didn't watch the conversation, then how can I come back and reflect on that conversation and still share some of those same tidbits from this expert with you? And so that's what I did. And so it's called, like you said, the 3 steps to changing a relationship with money. But at the end of that, it's also reflections of the Daily K podcast. And so in this book, I talked to credit and wealth strategist Andy Tebow. And so, man, she's done so much in the city. And so what she does is talk about investing in yourself, really investing in your business. And then we got a section on there, which is the longest part of the section of the book, just talking about credit. What to do with your credit profile. Don't worry about your numbers. Look at what is actually on there. And so that's kind of what she's talking about. So that's what the book is really honing in on, some of those top facts that I deemed important. And then I kind of wrote them up and shared them in my thoughts.
Well, that's really good. We actually did an interview with some people that help you out with your credit, probably in the beginning when we first started doing this. And one of the biggest things was everybody's always like, well, what's your credit score? Everybody's always looking at the number, but there's so many other things. And like even now I'm trying to get a house, and they're not just looking at the number. You can have an 800 credit score. They don't care. They want to know what's on your credit. Do you have major purchases? Do you how long is the history of the credit? What's the debt to income? All those things that actually affect your credit, and they hold more weight than just a number.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what we covered in the book.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So man, it's only $1.
The book?
Yeah, man, it's only $1. Look, man, I want people to get information, man. Look, I feel like I'll let it come. Get this information, use it, leave me a review. Let's talk about it. Support the next thing.
So when did you release the book?
Man, I released it New Year's Eve.
Okay. So it was new and it's already an Amazon bestseller.
Yeah, man. The next day it was Amazon bestseller, man. It was number 4 on the bestseller and number 1 on new releases.
Wow. Yeah. And it's not too expensive. It's not gonna break the bank.
It's $1, man.
Is it I guess available through ebook and hard copy?
No, just ebook.
Okay. But I mean, if somebody wanted to print it out, they could.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So so in the book, then I guess, have you gotten any feedback from anybody, or do you look at the reviews or how does that work?
I did see some reviews on the page, but more over just talking to people, and the biggest part is I tell people all the time, even on the radio show, there is nothing mysterious about this. It's nothing like a secret. It's really learning the fundamentals and repeating them over and over and over. So whereas it wasn't a lot of people saying, I never knew, it was people saying, okay, I've been thinking about it that way, or I thought this was true. So giving people a lot of aha moments to have them just go and now do something, which is my goal.
That's really good, because especially since you're influencing children and all that. It's something that you don't really get taught at home most of the time. And even in a lot of the other books that they talk about finance, it talks about how there's such a huge gap with education and actually teaching people how to live. When they get out of that. I went through all my years of school plus college, and I never had a class teach me how credit worked or anything like that. And so it's to the point where you hear so many people have this negative stuff, so then they end up having a fear of credit, where it's not something to be fearful of or stay away from because you need it, but due to the lack of education, people are afraid of it.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it is a very, very great tool to have.
Oh yeah,
You utilizing it and you being able to really turn it into cash, but then maintaining everything. Hey, it's a great tool.
okay. So I guess we can kind of change gears now, uh, and we'll go back to the radio station. So you said you had a podcast, and I was actually able to tune in this past Sunday. Great job, by the way.
Appreciate it.
And so when you have people that you're interviewing on the podcast, how do you find your your guests?
So for the podcast, I guess for the podcast and the radio show, it's pretty much the same. But on the radio show, it's a bigger audience and a wider range. So for the podcast, I look for pretty much educators who have, most of the time, you're going to teach me something about education, but then you also probably have an awesome side job, because all educators have awesome side jobs, I've noticed. Mm-hmm. So so we get to talk about that. But moreover, the biggest thing is, how can this be a resource, right? So then if it's something that is needed in the community, I'm going to call that person. But then sometimes, you just want to still get promoted. So then you look at for people who have nice audiences, that you become part of, so that we are both working together to promote each other.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how I look and find my guests.
That sounds good. Do you have any I guess requirements or criteria that you look for in somebody? So do they typically hit you up, or do you reach out to them?
Man, it's been a little bit of both, because now as I move more into the city of Houston, and then it's becoming more like I just got through talking to ESG or gosh, I forgot. I think it's EGI software. And so they just held a conference for elementary educators. And so this guy's in Silicon Valley, but the company was here. And so then just talking to them, but that was another conversation of talking to like Houston Parks Board or Volunteer Houston. And so, man, people are really starting to really hit me up. And then they also have the audience. And so we all work together in their respects. But other than that, man, I'm on the line.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm glad we can connect, and it's really interesting how everything intertwines, and literally we don't, it's an international group, and we could be talking about somebody from Jamaica, China, Dallas, Houston, wherever, and just so happen to come across each other, and we're both in Houston, so this small world at the same time. That's pretty cool. And maybe one day we can exchange this interaction.
Yeah, man, we must, man. Even if it's the radio, man. Come on,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
That way we can talk, because yeah, man, we gotta get together. I'm down.
Yeah, you're from PV, right?
Yeah, man. We went to PV. Yeah, grad
Me
school.
too.
Yes,
Me
sir.
too. Well, not to grad school, but I did go to PV.
Yeah, man.
As well. So that's cool. All right. So I guess with this, then you started out as paraprofessional, and now you're principal in podcast, YouTube channel, all these different things. What has been your biggest challenges?
Man, the biggest thing I can say is it's kind of twofold. Because one being the balance, but two being shout out to Brooklyn. She schedules a lot for me. But besides that, man, I'm pretty much a one-man show, man. And so that means I'm creating the flyers, I'm posting, I'm managing like 10, 12, 15 social media accounts. Man, so but I'm learning. So, And I think the more you learn, the faster you get, which is with the growth mindset. And so then I just keep going. But I try to, I don't know, man, trying to do everything and keep the cost low takes away so much time from my life, right? So one challenge is trying to do everything, but the other one is finding that balance. Of saying, I don't have to do everything today.
Yeah. That's something I think I'm struggling with myself.
Yeah, man, that's it. So
if you figure out a way to do it, then let me know, because
I'm gonna figure it out.
Learning all the time. I think just released our last YouTube video yesterday, and I did it at 9 a.m. only because I had been working on it for like 6 hours up until like 3 a.m. and I was like, man, if I release this now, nobody's gonna see it, so I might as well wait till the morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I know what you mean, having to be up late and thinking you always, even when you stop working though, do you find it stressful because you're still thinking about how can you do this or do that, or are you able to turn it off?
No, I'm not able to turn it off. That's the hard part. Like, the only time I get to turn it off is when I'm at work, because man, I can't think about that. I gotta go. So I think about that. But once I get home, it's like, okay, well, who's this interview? Look at my calendar. Is anything popping up? Did I miss anything? I gotta send this. And it's like, it's real live, but when you see like the fruits and you see what's happening, it motivates you to do more, but I think you still can pace it.
Okay. So what advice would you have to give somebody who's trying to start up, their career, follow their dream, or maybe they want to go down a path that you have? What advice would you give to, somebody out there that's trying to, just get started?
Yeah. Do it. Simple, man. Do it. Like, educate yourself, right? First thing is educate yourself. I just got through talking to another guy who's a Derek Van Ness, I think is his name. So I talked to him, been working in money. He said, instead of maybe investing in so much stuff, the first thing to do, invest in yourself, right? Pay for the extra certification, pay for that class that you need before you do something with the stock market. Enhance your skill set. And so to the people who want to do something, I would say learn, right? Stalk it. I also have a resale shop. And the crazy part about the resale shop is before I even did my first auction, I had been watching them for like a full year. So as soon as I jumped in, it was go mode, in the bag. We got the bag, but it was like learning what you're doing. And then, man, just doing it, regardless of what people say or what you think it looked like. Do it, brother.
Yeah. I'd have to say, I think my biggest thing to tell anybody is honestly, start. Even with this, with this that we're on right now, or the YouTube channel, whatever it is, it was just, you always think about stuff and you can think about it all day long and say, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then never actually take the step to do it. And, I think I just said it in the sentence, is take the step. The biggest thing was just get started, and that's something that a lot of people, will come and ask now. They're like, hey, what can I do? Or, how can I do this? Or how can I do that? And it really just comes down to, I'd say, like, start. Like, you'll never have anything, say the YouTube channel. Never have a YouTube channel until you actually just record a video.
Record.
If that's what you want to do, you have to start something. You have to start.
And to make it even better, if you go back and look at my first maybe 2 or 3 shows, dude, I didn't even have video. My first episode was on my birthday, and it was me and my friend on his porch with a microphone in between us talking about moving from Shreveport, Louisiana to Houston. Like that was it. And so 0 subs, till now, since July 1st, 2019, and now we think about thousands of subs. We think about the radio show, and that channel has 900,000 listeners. So you think about all that growth. It all started with me saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna worry about what nobody say. I'm gonna take that step, and that's it.
That's actually a very good point too. You said you're not worrying about what anybody says. That is a huge, setback for so many people because they're so worried about what somebody next door is gonna say or what the people think. Even in, I mean, you'd be surprised. Like some people won't give somebody a hug or a handshake just because somebody across the street's looking, and they're too afraid of what these people think to even do what they naturally want to do themselves.
Yes, sir.
So just even more so, somebody following their dream or their business, because everybody else doesn't believe in it, they won't go and follow their dream or at least try. I won't tell somebody that you have to just go all out, just to put all your eggs in one basket and then go. But you got to at least try something. Otherwise, your whole entire life you'll just be sitting there wondering what if. Or you'd be miserable. And I think I just said something the other day. Some people been contacting me about on Facebook, and what was it? It was something like, procrastination. Procrastination. The difference is, what the life that you could have lived to what you currently do. But you always be wondering what could you have done if you never tried.
Yeah.
I put it like this, man. If somebody said, "Hey, I give you $1 million if you turn around backwards and I turn the light off and you shoot a basketball, and if it goes in the net, I'll give you $1 million." I'd be an idiot not to try.
Yeah,
I might not make it and I might fail, but I mean, who's not gonna take the shot?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, you gotta take the shot. Dude, it's so many times, man, that I failed as being a serial entrepreneur, man. You think about stuff and it just was like, oh, that was crazy. But then you think about the stuff that worked too, and you were able to like make money off of it. But each time I could have stopped, right? Man, when I was down here going to school, dude, I got fired from my job, man, my last semester, man. I had to really get it out the mud because I was gonna go through hell and high water, but I was gonna graduate. And so many reasons to stop, could have quit. And just went home, packed it up, but I didn't. So you can't worry about that, man. You gotta go. Just go.
Anybody can attest to that. That's me too. I think we got a similar story when it comes to that.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how many times I thought to myself about like not, because stuff get hard, and it's just kind of like, man, I can't do this, and you're the only one that can push yourself through stuff. Like I tell cousins, everybody now, like even with going to school, if you're gonna go to school, you need to go to school for you. If you're gonna, and whatever your major is, you need to major in something that's for you. Because if you do it for anybody else, your parents want you to be a doctor, or they want you to be a this, or they want you. Everybody else wants you to do something else. But if that's not in you and what you want to do, then when it gets hard, there's nobody that can do that for you. Yes. And the only thing that's going to keep you going is your drive and want and desire in yourself to achieve whatever that goal is. Nobody else.
That's it, man. I try to tell my students every day. What you want to do. Make your decisions. Think about now. I was on with Broadcast Houston, and shout out doing that. And so when we was on, I talked to them about the boys club and just being a mentor, because I was saying to you, what if young boys want to do what you were doing? And also I told them, you got to come in and talk to my students about some of these people, But the biggest thing I was told, each year, my first lesson with my boys is, do you plan to live until you're 21? Like, that's the first question I asked them the first day in our boys club meeting. And so then if you do, we start day one on saying, well, what does that look like? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What are you interested in? And that's how we break the ice and learn each other. So you got to be able to give people their voice early, and then they got to use it. So I think we got to teach people how to be doers now.
Yeah. So where's the, I guess, the boys club or the mentorship that you're referring to?
It's at my school. It's at my school, man.
Oh, okay.
So I read a book by Principal Kafele, and it was having African American or minority males achieve in and outside of the classroom. And once I read that book, man, that really gave me the framework. And ever since then, man, 30 to 40 boys each year. Man, pouring into them, giving them lessons, man, getting t-shirts, dude. I sell pencils. Before the pandemic, man, I'll be out there early in the morning slanging my pencils. Getting the key teachers, man, we hustling. but teaching them too finance. Y'all got to come help me. I ain't doing this well for myself.
Yeah.
So things like that. That's what we do, man. I had a conference each year, and it was all about following them and just trying to see if we can help change the way they see things.
So I asked you earlier, what were your biggest challenges? I guess what do you find the most success in, or I guess what's been the most fulfilling or most rewarding thing that you've been able to experience through all of the things that you're doing?
Man, I don't even know if I got there yet. I think it's just started. But if you say year to date, man, being able to shout out to KT, like he had an art show, and so I was able to work with him and do like the media for the art show. It was downtown Houston, man, and so just going from, and that was our second event. So just going from zero to people saying, I use your code and I got buys, or I see more people going to my website from your postings, or you brought more people to my event from publicizing it. Just being able to be that resource. Man, that's what it's about, man.
Yeah. Yeah, in all honesty, I'd have to say that definitely makes sense, because we got a similar vision. Even within this group, the whole reason why it started was to help and give back, especially during a pandemic where a lot of people are struggling. And I think the biggest reward is being able to do like a show like this and have somebody say, "Hey, I got more traffic on my website," or "I got a deal because somebody was watching," or I got one of the first responses that I got was just, "You gave me the confidence to actually get in front of the camera, so that now I feel like I can do this."
Yes, sir.
Even something as small as that, those are the things that are end up being most fulfilling.
Yes, sir. That's it.
We got another question. What is the name of the radio station and what time are you on? So just in case somebody's tuning in a little bit later, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So what we do, like I told them, it's a KTTV weekend. So if you go to kttv.com, you'll see when we drop all of the podcasts, you'll see the radio station. Just get ready to set up a link this week, matter of fact. But 953jamz.com is the radio.
FM or AM, just in case.
No, it's because it's a streaming. So we're online.
Okay.
So it's streaming. So it's 953jamz.com. And then you can, Sundays 3 to 5, go to the website or download the TuneIn or the Waze app.
Okay.
And then
it's on the flyer also.
Yes. But even more than that, each week I go live on Facebook throughout the show, which is where you seen me at last week. So I go live, and so that is an awesome place, because 9 times out of 10, my caller, I have somebody call in for the interviews, and so a lot of the interactions, a lot of the questions that I'm getting from the Facebook Live, I'm also able to ask in real time. So tell Pamela, if you want to go to kttv.com, just get locked in with everything. 953 Jams on Sunday, but check it out on the Facebook, and we'll get it together.
Okay. Is there a phone number to call in also?
Yes, sir. 832-743-5269. So depending on what we got, I try to do like news topics. Been a lot of talk about the vaccine. One question we debated on was the protesters or rioters, I call them. What was that? Were they protesters? Were they rioters? And so then let's talk
long
about
ago. There's people being called. Yeah, I won't get too much into that. Yeah.
Hey, but so just things like that we talk about on the show, where it's always opportunities to give feedback. We talked about shopping and credit. So we talked about who, how y'all paying for this. Some things like that, man.
Understand that. So I guess with doing a radio show now, what's the most fulfilling with that? Or what keeps you going there? Is you just thoroughly enjoy it, or what?
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Before August 9th, dude, I had not been in a radio station in this capacity, right? And so for me, man, I'm just hungry. And so then I told you that's a part of that learning and everything. So, dude, I will sit in there and talk to shout out to Peter Allen. So I would talk to him and he'd give me some tidbits. He'd say, go listen to this talk radio, see how they engage with the audience, do this. And so now, man, moreover, the challenge of getting better, but then just, dude, I get to talk motivation, money, productivity, but then I get to play Boosie in between.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So look, dude, that's it, man.
Yeah, and I will say I definitely enjoy the music that was being played too, because I wasn't sure how that part was gonna work, and I definitely can say, you know, even just sitting in the room, I think I was cleaning up at the time, and I could hear the music in the background, and I was like, okay, so you know, it keeps you entertained, but at the same time, it also keeps you educated.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna drop some knowledge. We gonna go through, and the thing is, you know, something as simple as the Houston area. And so we do each week. I try to send out this Google form that I created, and it's called the Community Hero. So KTTV's Community Hero, and I want to highlight people who are doing awesome things in the city. So I send it out. People fill it up, fill it in, put the emails, kind of talk about what that person does, and then I get an opportunity to shout that person out on my radio show about just what they do in the community. So that's another great part of it. But then I have my guy Luis from the Houston Trending feed on Instagram. He comes in each week and man, he talks about some of the hidden gems in Houston. You know, some places that we may just be coming out, new restaurants or some that have great challenges. So each week he comes on and man, he drops just information, you know, about what's going on in the city, what's trending in Houston. So he may talk about Bitcoin, you know, because it may just be what's trending on his website for the city.
Yeah. Okay. So you really enjoy doing it, I guess. Do you have to go in somewhere, or are you able to do it from home, or you know, how does that work?
You know, so the podcast, you know, we doing everything out the house. Like right now, I'm in my podcast studio. But for the radio show, we do have a actual studio that we go to, man, and we set up. We got man, shout out to Mermaid. She just installed the lantern lights, and so I'm learning how to work the lamp. I got to get some of them for here, but it's like, you know, you control the lights with your phone. You make them go to the vibration of the music. So, dude, I love it in there, man. It's turned into a natural party. But the more comfortable I get, you know, the easier I get to focus on the fun stuff.
Okay. So it sounds pretty cool. I had some GoV LED lights that I set up in my apartment before I moved, and it was pretty legit because it was Alexa. It was powered by Alexa, compatible. It also was Wi-Fi based, and I would turn on my music, and it has like a little microphone on it, so anytime the bass would hit, you know, look like it looked like what was it, Clay and Spire in Houston this weekend.
Okay,
like
hey.
You know, might have to invite Powell over.
Man, that was crazy, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
I guess, have y'all been having any issues with I guess the pandemic in schools, or you know, how do you handle, especially as a principal, the whole pandemic now, and parents and fear and all that type of stuff, including the staff?
It's you know, it's new. I will say that. So, you know, a lot of stuff we were being able to be proactive on, but then a lot of this is reactive too, right? So you can prevent, but when that first case happens, it's no more. We in reaction mode. So man, we was doing so well before Christmas break. I want to say maybe 1-2 cases that were outside of the school. And they never even came to school. But after that, the holidays, of course, people see families, all the stuff the CDC was saying. And so they come back, and that's when we've really been faced with the challenge of keeping people safe, quarantine, and covering classes, getting people, getting bodies in buildings, just getting people here, because a lot of the parents also have kids that are in other schools. And so they're saying, well, if I got to quarantine my older baby, he might as well stay too. And so then,
or if one gets sick in the older school, then they're in the same house and they bring it to the it's definitely crazy.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and so we've been fortunate enough to, up until this time, have almost one of the highest, like top 5 of attendance in the district, right? Because we really just been, man, I was going to people's houses. Dude, I'm pulling up. Dude, come to school. Let's talk about it. Because you ain't showing up online. So come on with me. So, but now as things grow, you kind of, we can't no longer go to a house because things are kind of ramping back up. But also, you can't really put yourself in their shoes to say, oh no, it'll be okay. Right, you got to honor that fear, and then we try to make the best of what we have. So that's really the transition we've been shifting there.
This definitely sounds like something tough to manage, and it's probably a whole nother level of stress and things to think about.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Well, I guess, do you have any other aspirations or anything else, in the works coming up, or anything else you're trying to achieve, I guess, in the near future, I guess, as we wrap up?
Man, getting ready to, I'm working on the transcript for the second book, and this one here is about teacher wellness. So I was able to talk to a friend of mine who's a school psychologist, and so just talking about teacher wellness. Other than that, man, really just getting a media company. I want to, man, just get paid for commercials, get paid for ads, and so things like that. So that's, man, learning. Just got through this Clubhouse. So y'all follow me on Clubhouse too at KTTV.
Okay.
But did a awesome drop shipping last night. Talk with some people. So, man, the sky's the limit, man. Hey, look, got this credit right. we good.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. So, do you I guess when do you say? All right. So I get one of my last questions is, what made you even want to start writing books?
Well, I'm just being a part of that media, right, and thinking, okay, how else can I make sure that people get this information that I'm giving out? So then I've always been a writer, like because before principal elementary, I was a high school English teacher.
Okay.
And so so that part has always been there. But now I'm just thinking about, that's it, bro. So then just putting it together. Yes, sir.
You're an English teacher. I mean, you already like putting paper, pen to the paper. So
yes, sir. That's it, man.
And then it probably makes it a lot easier with the proofreading. You don't mind doing it, and you already got that skill, of already having to do it for others.
Yeah, but I still ship it out about 3-4 times. Please
okay.
It. Because I try to keep them real short, which is because I want to charge them $1. Maybe I might do maybe $2 for the next one or something. I don't know, but only charging something like that, and so then it's not long. I think the last one maybe was 10 to 12 pages. So very short reads, very to the point. That was one of the reviews on what is it, Amazon? That was one of the reviews. Very short to the point, but very informative with practical information they can use. And so that's what we're trying to
do. Okay, well, that's good. So I encourage everybody out there to go pick it up. I see actually some people from PV are actually tuning in and watching right now. So we have one of PV's finest right here. He's written a book. He's on the radio. He's got a podcast, a YouTube channel, and all of that. So go and check it out and get your finances right. Also tune into the radio station so you can get some motivation in your life and some education.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, so I'll ask you though, when we're done with this interview, to go ahead and drop that phone number also where people can reach you for the radio show.
That's cool, man.
And I guess what is your YouTube channel also?
Yes, man. So we try to keep the brand simple. So everything is KTTV. So youtube.com/KTTV. But the thing is, I try to keep it so simple. So if you go to, like I say, the website, the KTTV.com, You'll be able to get the YouTube videos, but you'll also be able to get the Anchor videos because it's on like your Anchors and your iHeart radios. Man, I was telling somebody yesterday, a friend of mine was on his Pandora. I was like, man, give me this. And so I was able to pull the podcast up on the Pandora. So man, it is everywhere. You know,
okay.
So being able to give people that. But kttv.com, you'll be able to get all the information.
Well, all right. So definitely appreciate you coming on tonight. I guess, do you have any final words before we close out? Anything you want to share with the audience?
Look, thank y'all for supporting us.
100%.
If you have not done, or about to do something to make your life better in 2021, please figure out what you're going to do and start doing it tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. I'd say, 2021, make that your reset year. If you were shut down or discouraged or whatever the case may be with 2020, make this the year that you do something different or just reset and move forward. I told somebody today, when you're at the bottom, there ain't nowhere else to go but up. So
zero subs.
Right. Right. You can't go below ground unless you go below ground. And if you do that, then it's over. So, well, thank you for coming on tonight. I definitely appreciate it and look forward to, hopefully having another conversation with you in the future, and wish you the best in 2021 and beyond all of that. And I'm glad we were able to make this connection. And like I said, hopefully, it'll be a continued friendship. So definitely appreciate it. And thank you for coming on. And I'll be subscribing to your YouTube channel after this also.
Man, I appreciate it. I got y'all, man. I'm on it.
Okay. All right. You have a good night.
Same to you, brother.
All right. Thank you.